All right. Welcome to Satsang Sunday. This is where we have our weekly spiritual gathering. I am changing the time. Today it's 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Normally it's at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And next week it's probably going to be even earlier than this. So please bear with me as I change that. If you're watching the replay, then you don't need to worry about that at all. Today we're going to have some channeled messages, maybe some healings, typical things that you would find in our Satsang Sunday experience. Feel free to follow on TikTok for the live experience. And if you are interested, I have a Discord where we put notifications of when I will go live for Satsang. There's also a study group for A Course in Miracles in there. Feel free to join us. It's in the link in the bio if you want to check that out. All right, so today we're going to start with a song that Spirit chose, and apparently it is Hallelujah by Paramore. So hopefully that's coming through for you guys. I'm still getting used to like the two screen thing. How you do that? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. Oh, is it here, this thing? Okay, here. Here. There we go. What do you guys think? Is the music too loud? We're playing around with this. How do I get that to go away? Welcome, welcome. Happy Satsang, everybody. I think it's fine. It'll be what it is for now. Okay, it is a little bit loud, but we'll try something different next time, I think. Welcome, welcome. It's just one song. Oh, for the other thing, it's gonna have to be lower though. Hello, Ashley. Welcome, dear. I think that's gonna be good. That's right, right? Maybe even just a little bit lower. I'm so sorry, guys, that we're still having some...
We're trying the live studio for Satsang today instead of just going through the phone with the easy way.
Yeah, I'm doing good, Ashley. How are you, dear? Okay, so this is my volume, right? This right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so I am going to turn that down a bit.
There you go.
Perfect. Perfection. That works. Happy Satsang. Oh, very sleepy. Me too, Ashley. I think it's in the energy. I think the energy is just a little sleepy. It feels. Anyway, I think it's funny that it's Hallelujah. There have been some very religious type of people kind of coming out of the woodworks lately, which is fine. You know, they have their belief, and we have our belief. No shade to anybody. Okay, I don't know if this sound is going to come through or not. You're going to have to help me with this one. I know, but the other sound was loud, so I want to make sure that the sound is still coming through. If you could help with that, that would be fantastic. All right, everybody. So the first song was Hallelujah by Paramore. It feels like, okay, so this has to be, how about now? Yeah. Okay. Fantabulous. I, however, am not. Testing. Thank you guys so much for bearing with me. Okay, good. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so the feeling this week, and I don't know if you guys have been feeling this too, but the feeling this week has been really much more about encouragement, very encouraging type of feelings and vibes, optimistic feelings, or at least the desire to be optimistic. And I feel like that song kind of like encapsulates that. But I am also feeling very tired. So honestly, I don't know how long today's satsang is going to be. We'll see. We shall see. All right, so I'm going to set that there. So what we're going to do today, like we usually do, is we're going to do our breathing. We're going to do our breathing exercise. So for every in-breath that you take, you're raising your vibration. Let me turn that to me. There we go. And if the music gets too loud at any point, just let me know. So having the intention to raise your vibration or to ground or to even do something is really the biggest part of what we do. And so having the intention of raising the vibration, hopefully that it helps the belief system that this is in fact what you're doing. With the belief system comes much more energy. When you have faith that something that you intend is actually happening, it adds a lot of energy to it, especially when it's something that is geared towards healing, when it is something that is geared towards joy, satisfaction, fulfillment of your soul's purpose, your body's function, things like that. So go ahead and join me in raising vibration. We're going to do that, and then I'm going to give a little bit of healing, Reiki healing, for anybody that needs it in the mind. Excuse me, your mind, in your body, in your spirit, your soul. So having the intention of receiving that is all that's needed as well. All right. So let's go ahead and raise our vibration. Nice deep breath in. Raising your vibration up one little notch and breathing out anything that is no longer serving you in this time. We're going to do it again. Nice deep breath in to raise your vibration. One little notch up. And we're going to breathe out anything that is not serving our highest good at this time. Okay, one more time. Nice deep breath in. Ooh, I feel that. Little tinglies. Nice deep breath out. Blowing out everything that is no longer serving. Wonderful. Okay, so if you need some healing, all you need to do is be accepting or in a receiving mode. I see some of you are having issues with receiving the information of the higher self through the crown. So we're having the intention of opening up the crown nice and wide, clearing out the channel for the energy that wants to come through, information, healing, understanding, clarity, whatever it is. I'm also feeling some interesting things in the brain, in the mind, in the head. For some of you, it's more like cobwebs. For some of you, it's an inflammation. For some of you, it feels like a disease that is manifesting in a physical sense. I'm also feeling the need for healing in the nervous system as well. I think that has a lot to do with that inflammation that I was feeling. Okay, we're going right down into the heart chakra. This is feeling way more mental and emotional here. There's a mistrust of the self, mistrust of discernment, and again, just some physical issues in the chest area. It might not necessarily be the heart, could be lungs, where it manifests. Some of you may not even actually feel the physical aspect of this. You might just feel it emotionally. Okay, and then just some grounding there. Thank you, Spirit. All right. And that's what we have today for some hopefully much needed healing for some of you. All right. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to call in the angels. So if you guys feel like you would like to join in, feel free to do so. We're going to call in Archangel Michael first. I feel like Archangel Gabriel second. And I don't know if anybody else wants to come through, but we're going to see. We're going to have to see. Hello, Ejan. How you doing, dear? Welcome, welcome. So feel free to join with me calling Michael into our session today. Nice deep breath in. Archangel Michael, I call upon you now. Breathe in his essence. Okay, so today I'm seeing him, he's sort of throwing out this cloud it looks like a cloud of I'm not quite sure what this is indicating, but I am seeing that there's rain coming from it, and the rain looks sort of like gems or like crystals, maybe. Hello, Griffin. Hello, Salome. Thank you, dear. It's so weird because I feel like this is for healing of some kind, but he's saying that it's deeper than that. It's more healing of knowing. Some people have turned off their knowing, is what he's saying, or have tried to turn their knowing off. And so he's wanting to kind of give us an opportunity to receive little sparks of remembrance. Remembering who we truly are, remembering how to use our bodies, remembering what we're here for. And he's saying remembering that we don't need to take this all too seriously. I love that. Oh, Kathy, thank you, dear. Thank you, Ro. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope that I put out a vibration that seems pleasing. Yeah. So, thank you, Michael. I received this healing and attunement in my highest and best good. Feel free to receive that from him as well, if that is what you choose. You know, I think I'm going to put this over here. I think that's going to be better over here. There we go. So, all right. Is there anything that you want to say before I let you go? Hello, Daniel. Hello, Stacy. Welcome, welcome. I think this is my first time catching on Sunday. Today's Sunday, right? Yeah, it's Sunday. I never know what day it is. But yeah. I'm like, uh-oh, did I say that? Did I come the wrong day? No, seriously, Salome, like I sometimes do not know, literally do not know what day it is. I confuse myself a lot. So, yay, I'm glad that you caught me today. These are fun sessions. These are some of my favorites. Okay, so I think Michael's finished with us for today. He's just going to continue to do this cloud thing, I think, for the whole session, it feels like. Same. Salome, we were just saying, Ashley was saying earlier that she was so tired, that she was really exhausted, and I've been feeling that way too, especially today, yesterday, the day before. I think I even commented to Annie that I'm feeling so tired. I know we're in the middle of a transition of sleep schedule, which very well could be it, but I know that I got plenty of sleep last night. So it's possible that it's part of a collective experience fatigue, something that's helping us grow in some way, shape, or form. That might be something that we can discern a little bit later through some spirit guides. But anyway, so let's go ahead and call in Gabriel. Maybe Gabriel will have the answers. He's very chatty. So we'll try that. All right, nice deep breath in. Archangel Gabriel, I call upon you now. Breathe in his essence. Ooh. So today I feel him right on the back. Actually, like from shoulder to shoulder, right on my back. Such a strange place for him to come through. He never really ever comes through that way. He's usually on the For me, on the left side, sometimes people say that they feel him on the right side or in front. I almost never feel him in the back. And this feels like he's offering some form of sturdiness, or yeah, like a sturdiness. He says that we're learning. Go ahead. We're learning how to be our real selves. So it can be difficult for us to find stability in that. I think a lot of people are transitioning right now from an old version of themselves to a newer version of themselves. That could be part of this collective fatigue that we're feeling. And it's not even necessarily something that the individual is going through on a personal level in such a drastic way. I know I'm in a transition, but I wouldn't say it's my more drastic transition. I would say that it's a very welcomed and happy transition. And so typically when that happens, I feel like I have a lot more vibrant energy, and that is not what I'm feeling today. And so I think what he's saying is that some of us who are sensitive are kind of feeling that from the collective, that sense of exhaustion, that sense of fatigue from resistance. There are a lot of individuals in the collective that are in deep resistance of the transition, the change, the growth that's happening right now. Much of it is out of fear, but a lot of it is out of guilt and judgment of that guilt and the fear. So if you're feeling tired and it's kind of not making too much sense, that could be part of the reason. What are some signs of being sensitive? I would say a sensitive person is somebody that has their psychic abilities a little bit more honed in or tuned on than some other people do. I think some people have figured out how to turn them off, which you can't really ever turn it off. It's like if you were to ask somebody to just stop smelling. Now, if you took a small child and you told that small child that smelling is fake, not real, in their imagination, they would then learn how not to smell. But the sense of smell would always still be there, right? So this is the same thing. When we say sensitive, it's really just like a catch-all for clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, which a lot of people refer to as the empath ability, but it's a lot deeper than that. And of course, claircognizance, which is knowing. And so if you have these abilities a little stronger, whether you're aware or not, because some people are not aware and they're still strong, you're going to feel this collective energy a little bit more. And I'm like, are we coming to a culmination? And they're just like, no, this is not a culmination. This is just sort of like a more, a surge. Okay, it's like a surge in transformation, a surge in a collective sort of push towards growth and understanding. And like the growth and the understanding is going to always be towards authenticity. We're always, as human beings, living beings, we're always going to be pushed towards our authentic expression. And so Gabriel is basically here giving us support. I don't know that this would even be a healing or an attunement. I think it's more of like a nurturing, which is, I feel like, is really on point for Gabriel, in my opinion. Giving us that sort of support in our understanding, but just like he's just there. Like he's just there for us. There's a lot of confusion going on right now. many different areas, many different ways, many different people. And he's here to help us understand. Oh, I just got this swell. Whew, very emotional. He's here to help us understand that it's okay to be confused. It's okay not to know. It's okay to be something that you're not when you don't know how to be yourself. So, very much caring, loving older brother vibes from Gabriel today. So I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much, Gabriel, for coming in and helping us today to give us a sense of peace and support. You guys cannot hear it, but outside is the ice cream man. And Annie and I always say when the ice cream man comes by our house, because it doesn't happen regularly or often, that it's like a sign from the universe of like importance or that things are working out. And right as I finish with Gabriel saying what he was saying, I hear the ice cream man. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. And he's never here on a Sunday. He's never here on a Sunday, so. All right, let me see if any other angels want to come through. Before we move into, I'm going to do the tarot card reading for the week. Like I said, today's episode is probably going to be very short because of how tired I'm feeling. And I want to make sure that you guys get quality over quantity. It's very important to me. So let me see if anybody else wants to come through. I do feel there's someone else. I don't know that I'm familiar with this one. I think I'm not quite sure. This is what I'm hearing, and I'm not great with names, so I might be wrong about this specific angel, but what it feels like is Ezekiel. I don't know if that's an angel or not. I'm pretty sure it is. I've never had this angel come through before, so that's why I'm not sure. He feels like every other angel, very what's the word I'm looking for? Very logical. Serious. There you go. Serious. So yeah, he's who wants to come through. So if you guys are wanting to, we can call him in together. I think he's an archangel, but that's how we're going to address him. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think he'll forgive me. Okay, nice deep breath in. Archangel Ezekiel, I call upon you now. Nice deep breath in. Yeah, he went right for the crown. He went right for the head. Oh, so interesting. So he's kind of putting this sort of funnel sort of looking thing right in the crown. Almost looks like an enhancement to channel. So everybody can channel. All humans, all beings, all living things Yes. Oh, I love that. I want, okay. So it is an angel. All right. Thank you, Letty. Angel Ezekiel will help make transformation easy. I love that. So, it looks like a hat. Definitely not a hat. It's very industrial. I don't think that he's one for frills or pretty things. No worries, Ro. I'll answer you in just a moment. Did you, fanatic? Tingles behind your head and ears. That's wonderful. So some people have a difficult time knowing, feeling, experiencing energy or information coming through their channel. So that's always going to be your crown chakra. Sort of the way I see it is like it's like a tube, right? And so what Ezekiel's doing here is he's sort of creating he's saying it's a cheat mode. Okay, we'll take it. And he's sort of creating this funnel to kind of help those of us that need training wheels, is what he's saying. So it's like having training wheels on. It sort of sucks in the higher vibrating energies down into your crown. So he is saying very specifically, if you are resonating with this funnel for channeling, do not have this on all the time. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I think that it might be a lot for some people. Okay. So having the intention of putting it on and taking it off when you want to hear, understand, and even in desperate times, I think it's a good idea to have an understanding of your situation, like in the spiritual, real sense of it, that this is a good thing for. So I would say this is more of like an attunement tool that he is helping us out with to, like, like Letty said, help with the transition to make it easier. Ezekiel seems very kind. I don't know the angels. I don't know all of them either, Ro. While you're saying that, my ears are ringing. That's wonderful, Letty. At work this morning on my break, all of a sudden I felt a cold chill, like a spirit moved through me. Oh, that's so interesting, Rose. If that ever happens to you again, Rose, I would encourage you to maybe sit with the feeling and ask if there is someone near you. And a lot of times they'll try to speak to you in your mind. It'll sound like you, but it really is them. Anyway, getting back to Ro's question, Ro, what is channeling? So channeling is different things depending on what your particular belief system is. I take a more very general belief system of it's just the ability to have the understanding, information, clarity of the universe, sometimes healing too, come down through your crown and either out your mouth, like throat chakra, down into your heart, or like just grounding down into your body. But a lot of times people say that it's like when they deliver a really powerful message to someone. If you're talking to somebody and you're really good at giving advice, and then like 5 seconds later you forgot everything that you said, that would be a lot of times considered channeling. I do what I consider a full body channel. Sometimes people call it a vocal channel, where I allow a spirit guide to inhabit my body and speak through my mouth. It is not me speaking when I do that. It feels really interesting and awesome. And many times I get a healing from that too, just by having their energy so close to me. So that is another form of channeling. There's different types of channeling as well. So it's sort of like a kind of like a catch-all word for translating source energy through spirit guides or your higher self. I hope that helps. Rose, lots of people passed at work and a loved one passed away, their birthday coming up this month. I'm so sorry for your loss, Rose. I do that all the time, Ro. That's wonderful, Ro. Yeah, everybody can channel. All humans, all animals, all plant life, anything that's alive can channel and does channel. It's not something that you necessarily have to try to do. Many times it's something that you already are doing. It's the act of learning your psychic abilities it's more of recognizing what's already there and then practicing it. So it's more obvious and more obvious and more obvious. It's sort of like if you found out that you had sort of like a talent for drawing. If you ignore it, it could atrophy. But if you practice it, you keep noticing it and you work at it and you actively try using it, then it will become more sharp for you. And it's really no different than that. You're welcome, dear Ro. I am a teacher in my soul. It's part of my purpose here. And that's why I do these Satsang Sundays, because I really want people to continue to learn how to reconnect with themselves and have a day in the week that hopefully sets you up for the rest of the week, right? So we do it on Sunday. And so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, hopefully you can get through your week a little bit easier with some of the things that you've learned or received from the angels, spirit guides, whoever else might be around. I kind of realized I had abilities when I predicted stuff that was kind of off the wall. It's hard to explain, yes. Decipher sometimes. Got it. Yeah, so it's all about practicing. You know, everybody can do that and everybody does it in a different way. So it's important for you to figure out the way that you do it and then practice it if you want to. If you want to. My advice is always to at least understand your gift enough that you can discern your own path, your own understanding of yourself, if not for others, right? Sometimes people are like, oh, I don't want to be a psychic. I don't want to have to like tell people things. I don't really want to talk to spirits. Like, that's not what this needs to be for, right? It's sort of like people with a really strong, wonderful sense of taste. Sometimes those people go on to become chefs or connoisseurs. Some people just don't do that at all and they just have it for themselves. This is exactly like that. However you use it is personal for you. That a lot of times where that's how it works. You said, I randomly thought, quote, I don't know how to change a tire. And then 2 days later, my fiance's tire blew. Those types of things will happen a lot, especially as you start waking up to your truth, which is a really wonderful thing. All right, so now we're going to do a card reading. Actually, I think I'm going to use my Curious Creatures deck because this feels right for today. So if anybody is interested, this is the deck that I am using, Curious Creatures. It is by Chris Ann, the same author that does the Lightseers deck. Okay, so with this, the intention with this reading here is going to be what to expect in the next week, this next week. What can we expect in this next week? Thank you, Spirit. They do have very pretty decks. My nose is itching like crazy. I can't tell if it's like a piece of my hair or if it's Spirit. I feel like some people are moving this next week. Like physically moving. Physically moving from one place to another. Could be your home, could be a job, could be a department, could be a room. But I believe that movement in some way, shape, or form, literal moving, is highly possible in this next week. Fairies always tickle your nose. You know what, Salome? It's funny because lately I've been channeling fairies, and I never had before. I think that they're attracted to like a whimsical spirit. Somebody that's like open to possibilities, open to excitement, exhilaration, things like that. And I definitely am opening my heart to that for sure. So I think I'm attracting them right now, which is a good sign. They are so fun. They're adorable. I love them so much. Their energy is infectious. And they have really good boundaries. so I've felt or heard, so. Okay, so what are we here to expect? This is so interesting. Okay, so that and this. All right, thank you, Spirit. So every time they come into my lives, it's to have giggles. I love that, Salome. I love that. That's wonderful. Okay, so the fact that they're here right now with this reading, I feel like there really is a message or an intention from them to be fun, be lighthearted, like in this coming week. Try not to be too serious, because a lot of times when we're shifting, when we're changing, it's so easy for us to become just too serious, you know? And they're not about that at all. They're like fun all the time. It's possible. It really is possible. I know some people are like, that's not possible to be having fun all the time. You can, though. Most people don't choose that. I know I don't always choose that. I forget. I forget a lot to find joy, to seek joy, to prioritize joy. And it doesn't mean that you need to shirk your responsibilities at all. That's not what it is. Virgo, yes, it's the Virgo. You can do your responsibilities with a relative amount of joy and excitement if you try, right? And that's their whole vibe. And so there might be some, I don't want to say difficult things happening this week. It feels more challenging, maybe. Some challenging experiences. It might even feel challenging to incorporate joy into those challenging experiences. Some people get so hyper-focused in completion or winning or succeeding, right? That you're missing out on all the fun that you could be having. So Fairy's telling me to be serious. Not to be serious. Birth chart telling me I'm naturally serious. Let's go. Same. I'm a Virgo sun, so it is literally natural for me to be serious. But I think that if we try, that it's easy to incorporate joy. We make it hard for ourselves for no reason, right? For no reason at all. So the card that's highlighting this week is actually the Knight of Swords. Okay, and I felt this, right? I even said something about this about time, I think. Time is sort of going really, really fast, but also like slow at the same time. So for me, I don't know how it's Sunday already. It feels like it was just Monday, but it also feels like it's been 2 weeks since Monday, simultaneously. And whenever I feel this energy, it always means that a lot is happening, but there's a lot of really good luck with this too. So with the Knight of Swords, this is the fastest moving card in the deck. This week is going to go by really fast, basically, is what they're saying, right? So you could lose yourself in that fast moving energy. You could forget to have fun. You could forget to make things enjoyable for yourself, right? So be mindful of how you're moving in each day. Find something that you can feel joy about, even if it's just brief, even if it's just one moment. And the other thing about the Knight of Swords is that you're going to be making some decisions pretty quickly as well this week. This isn't going to be a week to contemplate, to weigh things for a long period of time. That doesn't mean that you can't weigh anything. That doesn't mean that you can't, do a quick pro-con list in your head if you want to. But ultimately, Spirit is saying that the energies are moving so fast that if you sit on any one decision, you're not going to put yourself in a position where you can then get to the next one and get to the next one and get to the next one. And this is in response to a lot of people that have been asking for things to go quicker. I have a feeling that this summer and just July and August in general are going to be very fast moving months. So be mindful, be aware of your own self-sabotage. It feels like there might be some self-sabotage in there about moving forward. Try not to be in resistance too much to anything that's happening around you or with you, because whatever it is, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, it's going to be fast. It's going to be really fast. And so these are the cards here that made me feel like some people are going to be moving this week. We have the Eight of Cups and we have the Three of Pentacles. Okay, so the Eight of Cups and the Three of Pentacles here. This is definitely showing movement to me, not just like, it's our readings being highlighted by the Knight of Swords, right? So first and foremost, we have the Knight of Swords, very fast moving energy. So this could be a physical movement, mental movements of some kind, a belief shift, a shift in belief, a shift in maybe moving from one course of action to a separate, different course of action, or moving from one version of yourself into the next version of yourself. But we're going to have assistance with this, and that's why I feel like some people are really going to be actually moving this week. So whatever it is that you're moving, whatever it is that you're shifting from, right? It's definitely a leaving behind with this Eight of Cups. Whatever it is you're moving into, you will never go back to the thing that you left, right? So if you're getting a promotion, you're not going to get demoted, at least not by anything that's not your own doing. If you're moving from one house to another, obviously you're not going back. A belief system, taking on a new belief system or embracing a new version of yourself. This is a very clear indicator that by moving into this new physical space, not only are people going to be helping you get there, there's going to be people that are attracted to the energy that you now embody from the move, from that move. Yeah. So very, very interesting. And I'm sitting here trying to think about how that applies to me personally, but I am feeling that for sure. So lots of opportunity in this energy as well with the Three of Pentacles. Lots of opportunity for new connections, new developments with this move. If you're physically moving, then new neighbors, right? That one's a little bit more obvious. And I think some of the more like mental or emotional movements are not going to be as obvious what the opportunity or what the gain would be. But definitely has to do with more people. More people are going to be involved in that. And then the other thing that we have this week, excuse me, is interesting. It feels as though there's this dawning of a discernment or understanding, information coming through in some way. This is definitely a more spiritual nature, this side of the deck. Man, those fairies. With the Three of Swords, or the Three of Wands, this is sort of letting us know that there's manifestations that are being worked on in this week, and they are of a spiritual nature. And that could just mean living a lifestyle that is more close to what your authentic expression is. That could be being in a position that's more authentic to your function, your body's function, or your soul's purpose, right? It has something to do with you being a spiritual being and a manifestation of that, right? So this also has me thinking that it has a lot to do with hopes and dreams, things that you have wanted so very deeply in your heart, but felt like they were unattainable. I believe that this week we're going to have some more illumination, because I feel like with this one here, I'm seeing this, some people say it's a sunset, but for me it feels like a sunrise. And the rods are pointing right to it. It's sort of like a dawning of the information of, and then this one here is like who you are, what you want, what's best for you, all of that good stuff, you know? And so I feel like this week looks like it could go either way. And I really feel like that's the main message, right? I think that's the biggest thing coming through, is like, it might feel overwhelming, but are you going to make a party of it? Or are you going to be frustrated by it? Are you going to make a game of it, of the challenge? Or are you going to pout that it's difficult? Right? It's all in your perspective. It's all how you look at it. And I feel like most of the messages that have been coming through lately have been very, very much about perspective. And that it's important for you to hold on to the lifestyle that you want to live. If you want to be happy, be happy. Search for joy. Find joy in the small things, and then it will be easy to see it in the big things. Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that wants to come through with that, but I don't think so. I think this was a very sort of direct message about this week, that we can almost completely guarantee that everybody is going to be experiencing some form of movement. And now my mind is like, I wonder what that's going to look like collectively, right? For your local group of people, globally. Very interesting to see what's going to happen this week. But there is going to be movement. There is going to be shifting, going from one thing to another. And I think for some people, this might be a stark change, but one that you have been cultivating, one that you have been moving towards. So it's not a surprise None of this is saying that this move or this change is going to be a surprise. This is going to be something that you were hoping would happen or hoping to see coming, but you're experiencing in this week the physical manifestation of that change. So if you have been going through a mental or emotional shift in the past few months, this week you're going to see some physical expressions of that transformation. So thank you, Spirit. I love that. I'm excited. I can't wait to see some of these more physical manifestations, right? Change is not always the funnest thing for us, especially when we're coming out of a stagnation, and also especially when we're in resistance. You know, think of it this way. If you need to move to have better opportunities, but you don't know that that's why you need to move, and Spirit is saying it's time to move, and you're like, I don't really want to move. I'm really unhappy about this move. This is not what I want to be doing because I'm fine and happy where I'm living, and moving is horrible for me. But then you get there and you realize that you have neighbors that like actually care about you, whereas at your last place they didn't really talk to you too much. These neighbors have healthier boundaries, whereas the last ones were always nosy and in your business. Maybe you're closer to a place of business that you would like to get hired at, whatever it may be, right? There's always opportunities that are unseen until we take that leap, until we make that shift, until we make that physical change. And this week is for that. That I hear that very clearly from Spirit. So you guys are going to have to come back and let me know what changes, what shifts, what moves happened for you this week, and what was the experience, what was the result of that. I'd really love to know. All right. So I think I'm going to open up the floor here, so to speak, to any other energies that want to come through. I don't know if the fairies want to. I mean, I feel them here, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Hello, Danielle. Welcome, dear. All right. So I'm just going to see who wants to come through. Okay. So interesting. So I feel like Hecate wants to come through, and I found it very interesting because we've been having an issue with bats in the house. And I'm pretty sure she is one of those spirit guides that has that as one of her signs, or she's associated with them in some way. I'm pretty sure it's her. It's either her or Morgan. I cannot remember which one, but it's Hecate that wants to come through right now. So we're going to go ahead and hear what she has to say. It's so interesting that she's coming through because whenever she channels, she always sounds so serious. And the message today has been so opposite to that. So it's kind of interesting to see what she's going to have to say in reference to everything. Or she might be just giving us like a totally different message completely. Who knows? Who knows what she's going to say. I can never predict what is going to come out of her. So let's see what we have here. the shift is upon us. And there are layers to this shift, my dears. Each individual will experience this in their own way. However, your collective is experiencing this in a very major way. And some who think that they are not in an energy or a time of shifting or transforming, they are going to experience this now. The collective energy of transformation is at a heightened place. This is not to say that it is at a peak, for it is not. But it is at an energy of height that it has not been for quite some time. And it is so fun and interesting to see how the collective, this new, very interesting collective, is dealing with such a major transformation. And also to see how each individual is choosing to move forward through it. Some are racing, some are stumbling, some are flat out refusing. And I do have some advice for those people. It is in your better or best interest not to refuse to change. It is much better for you and will create much more ease in your life if you allow it and you surrender to it. The individual human is not more powerful than the energy of Source. But you do have choice, and it is your choice to drag your feet. But when you drag your feet, you will experience scrapes and blisters. Metaphorically, of course. And it will not be pleasant. Possibly more so than if you were to surrender. And it is in the resistance that you learn to despise transformation, to hate change. You see it as a danger, something that will harm you. But the harm is coming from within your own choice to resist. And this transformation is something that you've already chosen to do, something that you've already wanted. In your heart of hearts, you have. There is not a single individual on the planet or in the universe that experiences transformation that did not first want it. And yes, all of you want this. You want things to be better, to be more free, to be more enjoyable. But first, for things to be more free, more enjoyable, there must be change. You must rid yourself of anything that is preventing joy, that is preventing ease. Some of these things that you must release are things you have had for a very, very long time. And you have sentiment for those things. And so therefore it is understood, the resistance to releasing. But it is still a fact that if you resist the shift, if you resist the transformation and the change, that it will hurt more. So I encourage you to say goodbye in any way that you need to your old self, your old job, your old house. And do not think of it as a dirty, dusty thing that you no longer want, but look at it in a way that is loving and having reverence for it. That experience got you here, and you would not be making this shift or change without that first. When you throw something away without care, you are doomed to repeat it. But when you release something with more care and understanding, for reverence and love of that thing or experience, you will remember it, and therefore are much less likely to repeat any behaviors or make any choices that would not be in your highest good now. Do not be stubborn if you can help it. Practice release. Practice love. And do not hold on. What a lovely message. I definitely didn't expect that from her. She's so wise. Oh, I just love it so much. I love her. She's so great. Hecate makes me feel so warm. The mother I never had. Oh, Ro, that's lovely. I love that. She is quite amazing. It's so interesting. When I channel her, she feels so heavy. Like the angels I feel up in my head, but Hecate I feel down like towards my solar plexus. Somewhere between my heart and my solar plexus is where I feel her, and she's very heavy energy. Not like bad, but just like she has weight to her, I think. When I first started channeling her, she kind of showed me the 3 phases of life, right? A child, an adult, and an elder. And we are transitioning as a collective into the next form. It's not as simple as those 3 things. But it feels major like that. And it feels to me like we are going more from like a child's understanding in the collective to a more adult understanding in the collective. And I think that's what's really being resisted. I mean, think about when you were graduating high school. I know I had deep resistance for becoming an adult. I was like, I don't want to get a job. I don't want to have to do any of that stuff. I don't want to have to go to school on my own. I just want to continue to be a child where I get to stay at home and my parents get to take care of me and I can do whatever I want without too many responsibilities on my back, right? And I think that in the collective we're having that sort of experience, that feeling of the responsibility of knowledge, the responsibility of understanding. It's a big weight. You're responsible for yourself. And I think that that's quasi what we're going into in a way. I feel like she gives it gently when she can. She's been more blunt to me before, but only when it's needed. For sure. I feel that completely, Ro, with Hecate. I've had channels from her that have been very direct. And it's funny because like I was like, oh, I don't know how she's gonna come in, because normally she's so serious, and you know, the message here today has been very light. And I think that was the light version of Hecate that we got today. Like that was her just like as chill as she's gonna be, which I love that. I'm gonna see if there's anybody else that wants to come through for this week. Any guidance or wisdom for this week? Okay, this is interesting. Wow. All right. Not gonna lie, I'm a little intimidated by this one. I feel like they do that to me at least once a week. They're like, oh, here, you're gonna channel something that you've never channeled before, and it's gonna sound crazy. All right, I got you. So the energy that wants to be channeled is actually our sun, our star. When I saw it, it was sunlight at first, and it felt very life-giving, and it pulled me into it, and it was like, I'd like to talk. And I said, oh, okay, sure. I think in certain cultures and certain belief systems, the sun is like our mother. I mean, technically she birthed us, right? I think so. Yeah, that's how that works. Science. Anyway, so I believe that she wants to channel a message for us. She feels like a similar type of vibration to what I feel when I am getting the call from Mother Earth or Gaia. It's sort of like a very big energy, but a very loving and nurturing energy at the same time. Very interesting. So interesting, Ro. Yeah, I've had the moon come through too before, but apparently the sun would like to channel. So we're gonna see what she has. She or he, they. Maybe there's no pronouns. Maybe they're they. So we're gonna see what they want to channel today for us. Hello. It might be helpful to understand some things about me, maybe. It is a little like when you have a great-great-grandmother. I would say that might be the relation of me to you. Relative yet distant. And you may take on some traits. And a trait that I have noticed amongst humans, especially as of late, is that of creation. You have always been something to foster creation in many different ways. And it is something that is very near and dear to me. For in our own little corner of the universe, we are quite interesting. There are many elements to what you call the solar system that do not exist in others. We are far from the group at the core of our galaxy, but not all on our own either. We are close enough and far enough away that we can be independent and unique. And that's how I like it. I like being independent. I like being unique. And I like being close enough to brothers and sisters that are like me. And so this is something that translates down to you as well. That you are all very creative in your expression of yourself, in the expression of your lifestyle even, and even in creating copies of yourselves, as you can see with your current population. And everything on earth is like that too. It is very important for you to embody that energy in anything and everything that you do. You are here to create, to make something new, something different, something interesting. And when you try to act in a different way, pretend as though you are not a creative being, pretend as though creation is not important to you, you will become quite sad. You will become depressed even, or angry. And so I encourage you to find something to create, something that feels close to you individually. And there are so very many things that are being created, especially now. It seems like a boon. I also encourage you to think outside of the box, as you say. Be different. Be independent. Be on the outskirts, yet still part of a group. Don't be afraid to do things that are different than what everyone else is doing, because it creates beauty. It creates innovation. Useful things too. Anything that is created from the heart will always be useful in some way to someone. And it is not for you to judge whether that thing is useful or not, because it may not seem useful to you individually, but it could very much be useful for someone else, somewhere else. Many things that we create are for later. Some things we create are more obvious. Like, what is Pluto for? Remains to be seen. But it is quite interesting, isn't it? But it is quite obvious what Jupiter is for. It is to protect other creations that I have made. So, try not to judge. Treat everything that you create as if it is a beautiful child that you have been bringing into this world that needs independence of its own. When you create and you hold on to whatever it is that you're creating, it will only create friction and sadness. And you will be keeping that creation from its purpose as well. Just because it is possibly an inanimate object does not mean that it does not have a purpose too. Realize that everything you create will have a purpose, and it does not matter how long it takes you to create it. There are still many things, even within our own solar system, that are still being created. And I try to have patience for those things too. It is very exciting when something is coming to a fruition, when something is coming to life. But do not let that excitement turn into frustration. Patience is needed when creating something new, and part of creation is transformation as well. So, I am rooting for you guys, and I am eager to see what comes of this major transformation. It is quite interesting to watch. And I always help in any way that I can when you allow it, and so do all the other energies around. Wow, very interesting. Goodness. So that was definitely a new experience for me. My ear is ringing a little bit, actually. Oh, that's so interesting. What do I say to that? You just came in at the end. Emma, that was the sun. They are so interesting. Yeah. That was the sun. I feel like the biggest thing that I feel like is important to take away is that this collective desire to create something, to leave behind. I mean, if you really think about it, our global culture with each individual, there's always this feeling of like legacy, right? What am I creating that is going to be left behind me? Apparently that comes from the personality of our sun. This feeling of wanting to be isolated at times, and then at times wanting to be part of a community, also comes from our sun, which I find really fascinating. I did not realize that we would have personality traits from the sun. Hello, Brandon. How you doing, dear? Funny because I'm being more drawn to the sun at the moment. That's so interesting, Emma. I think the sun is, well, most energies are taking note of our planet and what's happening with our planet right now, because we are in a major transformation. And I mean, if you are, let's say you have a baby, right? And that baby only does like 3 different things, right? Eat, sleep, go to the bathroom. Doesn't do anything else. It just sits there and maybe cries. But the minute that it figures out how to roll over, you're like honed in on that baby. Oh my gosh, did you see he just rolled over? Oh my God. Let's watch and see if it does it again. And then you just sit there and you watch and you watch and you watch, and everybody's on high alert. You gotta watch because the baby just turned, right? I feel like that's what the sort of energies around us are doing right now. There's a lot of attention on Earth because of this huge transformation that we're going through. and kind of waiting with bated breath to see what we're going to do. Although I have a feeling that a lot of them know what's possible for us in this transformation that we're not aware of, and they're definitely not going to spoil it for us. Either that, or we don't quite understand what the transformation is, even if they told us, right? So if you try to tell an infant, hey, you're turning around or you're rolling over, they are not going to understand you. They don't understand words yet as an infant necessarily. So is that why we're starting to call in our sun sign recently? I think so, Emma. I think so. I really do. And but I mean, I think a lot of other energies are really strong right now too. Oh, and by the way, thank you for the gifts. I appreciate that. I feel like, I think some people, I really do, I feel like some people also might be struggling with a sort of just this sort of overwhelming sense of being watched, maybe, or observed. And I believe that's coming from the many different energies and spirit guides and whatever else there is in the universe that is observing us right now, to watch what we're about to do. You know, maybe people are taking on a sort of energy of stage fright, and that might be the resistance to change. Thank you, Brandon. So if you are feeling that way right now, where it's like, I am feeling kind of embarrassed to do this change, even though nobody's going to notice, nobody's going to see, really, that could be a reason too. Being more aware of the energies being observant of us than they have before. Although I think some of the younger people being born into this kind of don't know anything else, because I feel like they've been watching us for quite some time now. But as we start getting closer to doing this major transformation, we're kind of collecting more and more observers. You know, and then once we do whatever it is that we're going to be doing, they're gonna go back to whatever it is that they were doing and wait for the next cool thing that we do. You know, maybe they'll be waiting for our first word this time. Who knows? That was so interesting. I definitely didn't anticipate that message, but I feel like it makes so much sense. Like, we are created from the star that is our solar system, at the center of our solar system. And so therefore, it might be a good idea to connect with the sun and see what traits you have in common with that very powerful being that would influence your personal life now. I'm sure that there's many other things that we have in common that weren't said, but I think they really wanted to speak more collectively than individually today. And maybe just make aware that they're watching too. I think they're always watching what we're doing, because we are constantly in transformation compared to how long the sun lives. Yeah, so really interesting stuff this time. Didn't expect that, of course, but that is what we have. So if anybody has anything to add, or any questions on anything that you guys want me to touch on before we head out for the day. I thought that maybe it would be less time on the live today, but I guess not. Hello, Rebecca from the UK. Big fan of the sun. I hope I can talk to them sometime. You can talk to them whenever you like. Just have the intention of connecting with them and ask them questions. Be curious. Oh, you're welcome, Salome. It's my pleasure as always. Oh, and I also want to add, for anybody that doesn't know, tomorrow is the second meeting of the study group that I am holding for A Course in Miracles. So if anybody is interested in studying A Course in Miracles, I have a study group for that. You can join my Discord where we have the study group. We hold it in the Discord. We get together once a week to talk about that and help each other stay on track with it, and hopefully help each other answer some questions, some things that seem confusing. And in the Discord, we are going to be starting a movie night, which is very fun. I don't know what movies we're going to be seeing, but it's going to be a democratic process where we elect the movie of the month. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other things in the Discord going forward, but that's what we have going on right now. So if anybody is interested in those, feel free to click on the link in the bio. The Discord server is there. You might have to download Discord and create a profile before you can join the Discord. So you might have to do that and then come back. And if you have any issues with it, feel free to private message me, and I would be more than happy to help you with it. Who is my favorite to channel? Ooh, that is a difficult question, Ro. That is a very difficult question. I think that for me, Jesus is the easiest one, and Mary Magdalene. Mary was a channel as well, and I have a lot of vibrational similarities with her. I always love channeling joy. Like, feeling joy's energy is just like amazing. I think if I had to pick favorites, that might be them, but I really love channeling everything and anything. Oh, Ra, thank you. I forgot, the sun god Ra is like definitely up there on my top 5 favorites for sure. He's just so freaking interesting. Whenever I channel him, he has such amazing information, and he's just so freaking powerful. It's so cool. So yeah. Anyway, I guess that's it for today. I'm gonna go ahead and end the live session. I will see you guys next week. Like I said, next week is probably going to be earlier. I'm thinking probably about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to start, but it might be earlier than that. So if you would like to have the information about when I go live, please join the Discord. I always put that stuff in the Discord. I let everybody know who wants to know in the Discord. I don't spam anybody, so there's different roles that you can choose for the different notifications that you want in the Discord. So it's a good hub to have, good place to be, and we all love each other in there. So, and everybody's welcome. You know, it's not exclusive. Thank you, Emma. All right, so Midwestern goodbye, I guess. So I will see you guys later. I should be live again on Tuesday. Usually I try to get on Tuesdays. And then I don't know when next. Otherwise, see you next Sunday for Satsang. And of course, if you have missed any of this, for those of you that are still in the live, I will be uploading this on YouTube, which gets shared in the Discord as well. So look for me on YouTube if you wanted to watch the parts of this episode that you have missed. Anyway, sending all of you so much love and support and happiness and good luck this week, even though it seems like it's going to be a really good one. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.